Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city. A miracle has happened, a miracle that must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malthus himself.
Look who's arrived. Did you have any problems finding your way around? This city can be quite a maze if you don't know it.
The lost heir to the
Right, you're from Ostian. I almost forgot. They're quite fascinating, these places, aren't they? You can climb high, and you can fall just as deep. And every place vibrates with life.
The esteemed Trotesha, Natara dal thereby returns to her position.
Here, put this on.
As second in command,
And before you ask, yes, it's necessary. Just trust me.
Arundel himself shall lead this holy city from this day on. His fearless leadership shall be what helps us find our way through these troubled times.
That's it. And why is it Malphas who carries the Sun Temple on his back? Isn't that a gesture of servitude?
Please, I'm so hungry.
Greetings. So, about this fever. Usually those gifted with magic have to report their talent to the Order, and then pass a ritual that teaches them how to deal with their magic. The journey to the water is what they call it. Once they've passed that, the fever reduces to an endurable level, and new alchemists have their names registered in some kind of holy book. But there are other ways to get rid of the fever, and I hope my employer can tell you about them. Okay, almost there.
Hold it, my sir. No civilians beyond this point without explicit permission. Who are you, and what leads you to this holy place?
Business. I'm Jaspar Dalveric, and I work for the Naramese Mages.
Oh, right. The mercenary. And who's your companion?
Marijo de Luna from Ostian, esteemed holder of de Luna's Empire of Tender Fragrance, the most prestigious perfumery in all of Vin. Archmagister Marigil sent for him. Didn't he tell you?
The Archmagister. Well, that does sound like him. Fair enough, you may pass. But show this place the respect it deserves, mercenary. You too, Meister de Luna.
You have my word, fair lady. Thank you. Well, that went better than expected. Hey, it worked, didn't it? That's all that matters. Nobody will suspect someone who's already in the temple. Anyway, I think it's about time I tell you a little bit more about this employer of mine. His name is Constantine Firespark, and he's one of Narathzor Orenthiel's former followers, which the new Grand Master, Tealor Orenthiel, brought here by ship about 2 years ago. That means he's one of the former arch-enemies of the Order. They usually wear green, while the Order wears white or red. That should make it easy for you to tell them apart. Firespark's pretty much the eldest of Narathzor's mages, and quite well versed in magic, at least from what I've heard. Plus, he's a very gentle and likable fellow, which is why even the Keepers like having him around. Let's hope he can tell us a thing or two about these visions, and help you get rid of the fever. Come, follow me. Huh? Keep your chin up. All right, here we are. Hang on.
No. That's not how you do it.
Blast it! I'm just being careful. We
Like
have to.
heck we do. Give me that thing, now. Ouch. Blasted, blistering blazes. That's what you get for working with fumblers. I told you, we
Master
should be
Firespark.
careful. What? Now who the heck are you? Can't an old man have a moment to himself?
You hired me. The Magister, don't you remember?
Oh, right. Joseph the Scrounger. So why are you here? Had any luck?
Just spar. And yeah, we did find something.
Suggest you first of all tell me when I allowed you to drag your drinking mates up here. Do you need me to explain the meaning of the words highly and confidential to you?
I'm sure there's a lot you can explain to me, but let's save that for later. This particular fellow over here needs your help, to be frank. Arcane fever.
Is that so? And what exactly has that got to do with me? Let the Keepers and their holy rituals take care of it. What is it with the costume, anyway?
This man's magic is different, Meister. Just feel his aura and you'll see it. Plus, he's from Narim, just as you are.
Well, all right then, for nostalgia's sake. I really hope you're not wasting my time, though. Working with these religious buffoons is bound to make any rational thinking person go bonkers. Anyway, that chair over there. Take a seat, and I'll have a look at that fever of yours. All right then, this will tickle a little. No, you're right. This aura does feel different. Complex somehow and powerful. And do you really want to tell me you've only recently discovered that talent of yours? With that aura, I'm surprised that you haven't turned into an Obaya by now. Fine. Well, that is, we will help you. But first, tell me everything. How you got that magic, and how you met that Scrounger. I see. Regarding this vision thing, I think that your mind simply played a trick on you there. Not that it's much of a surprise, considering what you've been through. Actually, you were quite lucky that the sudden outburst of your glance didn't blow your head right off. By all that's holy, I won't start playing your tutor now. If you don't know about the basic functioning of magic, then read something from Balador Goldenstein.
The glance on the sea of eventualities. Alongside, but apart from the reality we're in right now, exist countless other realities, in which some events have different outcomes, so to speak. A version of this very same room, for example, with the very same people in it, only that Meister Firespark's beard is on fire. And what defines an Arcanist, someone capable of magic, is that he or she can see those other realities and let parts of them come true.
Well, look at that, Jasper. You surprised me.
That's what I'm being paid for.
How powerful an Arcanist is depends on 3 factors. How far away are the eventualities that he can see, how well he can bring parts of them into our reality, and finally, how well his mind can handle seeing other realities simultaneously with ours. Lighting a candle is easier than calling a meteor from the sky, to speak plain inal, but as I said, read Goldenstein if you're interested in the topic. I'm not going to waste any time with lectures. Well, if that's what you want to believe, go for it. I, in any case, have never come across such a phenomenon in over 50 years of studying magic. And now we should...
It all begins with the dreams.
What the... blasted blistering blazes! Does this room look like the bosom of a whore to you? Or what makes you think you can go around touching anything you get your fingers on? These documents are confidential, for heck's sake. I knew it was a mistake to hire a thug like you. Lashery always had a weakness for...
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you telling me something about dreams that led you and Tealor Renthiel here, didn't you, my sir? And you told me that in this vision of yours, the Veiled Woman said this. It all begins with the dreams.
What? Is that true? Oh. Then this near-death experience you had before you woke up on the shore. Tell me again, what exactly did you see in it? A room? Well, this is strange indeed. Anyway, for now all that matters is that we get that magic of yours under control. Whatever you clairvoyanced back there is of no use to us if you're dead as a doornail in a couple of months. Well, that's usually a plodding process. The fever you feel is a result of your mind not being able to handle all of these possibilities, so to speak. The ritual the Enderalians practice to get the glance under control is called the Journey to the Water. Put frankly, it means 1 year of hour-long meditation, bland food, and abstinence from anything that makes life worth living. In due time, the Arcanist then learns to filter these other realities from ours, and the fever gets less and less. Anyhow, luckily enough, we Neremes know of a way to quicken that process. A shortcut, if you will. I'm not capable of performing it, but another one of us is. Her name is Lashery, and you should seek her out as soon as possible. There is indeed, and this reason is called ignorance. The Order's rituals haven't changed since the Lightborn slipped out of their cradles, and the Keepers do their best to keep anything progressive out of their country. But please, if you're up for a year of austerity and stern-faced magisters scolding you, go for it. I really don't care. She's currently in a ruin called Old Rashengrad, not far from Ark. Just tell her that I sent you. Give me that map of yours. Okay, now you'd have to be a total idiot to miss it. I recommend leaving for the ruin straight away. And you, Joseph, you're going to come with me and show me what your trip to the Sun Coast brought forth. Hopefully, more than a bottle of honey wine and a hangover.
Quite a character, isn't he? But I like him somehow. Here, I owe you this for your help back in Riverville. And in case you're in the mood for a mug of ale and a good chat, just drop by the Dancing Nomad in the Stranger's Quarter. I'll get myself a room there for the time being. With all that said, good luck mastering your magic, my friend. I'll see you around.
Where is this supposed to lead?
Huh? What? You mean the living dead, the Watirs everywhere, the frenzied civilians? I'd say this country's seen better times. But at least something happens. Makes this place less boring. Keep your chin up.
Yes, that just might work.
Oh, that's hard to tell. Most of the time I was with Narathzul's order in the Kabet Mountains. But when I was younger, I used to travel a lot, not only in Nerim. What about you? Which idiots did you have the misfortune to be raised by? The foolhardy rebels up north? The bootlicking pawns of the Chancellor in the Middle Realm? Or the fanatic, mask-wearing cultist oafs down south? Ostian, I see. A beautiful piece of earth, actually. But these sodding cultists and their creator have done their best to make it a living nightmare. Truth be told, it was them who made me join Narathzul's fight against religion back in the days. I was a young traveling arcanist then, and wanted to make some money in Ostian's arena. Fight some rabid animals, oh, you know the story. I had heard a lot about Nerim's south, and imagined a place at the pulse of life. Exotic music, adventure, beautiful women. But you know who greeted me when I reached the city gates? Corpses. They burnt their skin off, and then nailed them to crosses. There were at least 50 of them. Men, women, children. And they were set up at the roadside like trees in an alley. It was atrocious. The smell of burnt meat everywhere. The screams of those who still lived, and all of it only because some fool has decided that they had somehow acted against their god. I still dream of it sometimes. Well, that was when I declared war on religion. I was so sick of seeing people cutting each other's throats only because they project their own personal problems into some holy scripture or higher power. And that's not even the worst part. They're beyond reason. Why are you doing this, I ask them. Because my God told me to. What's left to say there? You can essentially justify anything with that logic. This is why this place makes me sick. We need the Order's manpower. They need our knowledge about the Piraeans, and we both do want the same thing, yes. But philosophy and freedom of thought are nowhere to be found. It's pathetic. Yes, and no. On the one hand, yes, a happy person will most likely never become a murderer, no matter if he or she follows the teachings of this creator or some Quiranian philosopher. But if something happens to this person, hunger, fear, shattered dreams, a peaceful ideology can make all the difference. What is religion after all? It's a guide to live life, a set of values. And even if it's just one line in the Holy Scripture that says, "Kill the infidels," how likely is it that a broken man will interpret it in a peaceful way? If you want a justification to spill blood, you will find it. If your religion was ambivalent to begin with, even better. There's a lot of discussion about that on Kira. And it drives me mad to hear people prattling on about how it's all a matter of interpreting the scripture in different ways. Blazes, if your ideology is so peaceful, why does it say, "slayeth this, slayeth that," rather than just, "get along"? It's pathetic. Yes, go on. Try to justify a massacre like the one in Ostian with a philosophy that consists of only two principles and nothing more. Respect those around you, and killing is bad regardless of the motives. Good luck. Especially if people don't keep to themselves with it. Oh, don't tell Lucy that. Altogether it's her, Yuslan, me, and 2 acolytes. Juslan is probably the most gifted entropist of the civilized world, and I doubt there's anyone who knows more about the Pyreans than Lucy. Oh, do you really need me to answer that? Just take a look around. There are all sorts of great historical writings on us here. We're a bunch of bloodthirsty heretics who followed Tenor Aranthiel's deluded son into the war against the gods, who gloriously defeated us in the Battle of Zaramar. Naratzul was locked into an old tower, and those of us who remained cowardly fled into the Neremes Mountains, and have since then terrorized and plotted against the poor people of the civilized world by all means necessary. Oh, and did I forget to mention that we eat babies for breakfast? Well, now I have. Through most of it, yes, but I don't want to go into detail. Who glory and have since then terrorized. Sorry. I suppose I just shouldn't have read that much Enderalian literature on the subject. If there's someone who deserves an award for biased misrepresentation of the facts, it's the buffoons who run this place.
Oh, you're here. I thought you were in the city.
No, the Archmagister ordered me back. Feels good to be here, to be honest. The funeral...
Walk blessed.
I could have done without that.
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever be easy?
That really happened. Brother Yarrow, he was such a good man.
I don't think the Red Madness cares much about that.
Probably not, no. I wonder how it happens. The infection.
What do you mean?
Well, the red eyes and the obvious madness only happen in the last stages of the disease. What happens before that? And how? How can one tell someone else is afflicted?
Why, scared you've caught it, are you?
That is not funny. You know, I've had this feeling that there's something wrong with Yarrow for quite some time, long before it happened.
You don't say. His wife was murdered. Don't you think that would have thrown you out of bounds too? Path-abiding Enderalian or not?
That's not what I mean. Her death broke him, yes. But there was no hatred in him, only grief. The hatred only came shortly before he did it.
Sorry, but I don't really see what you're going at.
I'm just trying to say that, well, maybe we all should be careful. Maybe it was Yarrow's grief, his instability, that made him susceptible to the Red Madness in the first place.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
But let the Flameling and the Apothecari find that out. I have to go now, brother. Walk blessed. Blazes, it's dark already? Time really does fly by.
Yes.
Well met.
Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor.
Scribe verse 80 100 times. Sky can rain fire. Magisters never change.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You do not belong here.
Unreliable. That's what they are. All of them.
Oh, yes. Guess what? There is. Some people just don't get the meaning of the word reliability. Huh. You're not from the Order, are you? Then I wonder what the blazes you're doing here. But fine. Who am I to reject a helping hand? Elia, the novice who was assigned to me, she's supposed to help me transcribe these Pyrian tomes the Grand Master is so obsessed about. But 2 days ago, she simply vanished. If I were to guess, I'd say she's strolling around enjoying herself somewhere in the Nobles' Quarter. I'd go look myself, but I'm lucky if I get to breathe within all this work. Go find her and tell her to get her bloody ass up here and help me. If you do that, it won't be to your disadvantage.
Can you feel the breath of irrevocable ages? Senses will slow
Blazes, I just can't bloody believe it.
in the mist, far in the distance, figures are straight.
This is holy ground, Outlander. You don't belong here.
Carlos, why's that?
I don't know. I think it's about the tome he wanted you to transcribe.
Watch yourself. The streets aren't safe this time of the day.
Monsieur?
Hello. Hmm? Is it important?
Good evening. You're a foreigner, aren't you? I wish I'd have crossed the Red Sea once, or seen Kira, the Grand Bazaar.
Shira. Mm-hmm.
Wait a moment.
As I said, the offer
You're an
stands.
outlander, aren't you?
Just think about it. Move along.
Only if you know what to look for. I'm one myself, so I do. Balhazer, pleased to make your acquaintance. Tell me, if you're new in this city, are you perchance also looking for work? Excuse me, what was I saying? I'm looking for a hand. Well, neither do you. But to answer your question, I'm Orizalian, but third generation Orizalian, so it doesn't show that much anymore. Apart from my name and my skin, there's little left of my roots, I'm afraid. Anyway, so what did you say? Interested in some well-paid, honest work? It's simple. I want you to find something for me. You know, I'm a healer, just like my father was, and my grandfather before that. When he came to this country, he did so because he had been hired by an Arca-noblewoman, a bright lady who valued science and the arts of healing. In any case, my grandfather spent a large portion of life working for this lady in an old, abandoned fort near the now deserted village of Fogville. Together with a good dozen other apothecary, he planned for my father to succeed him. But before he had the chance to, the mushroom plague occurred.
Work.
Yes, that one. The spores of those mushrooms have literally sucked all the life from the forest and its surroundings. Plus, they are a threat to everyone who comes close.
How am I
It does seem likely, doesn't it? Both my father and I have asked my grandfather this question too, but he has always denied it. The plague was a magical phenomenon, a freak of nature, no more, no less. Those were his words. However, I've made some troubling discoveries which have led me to doubt that. I believe the plague might have been fabricated. Well, this is exactly what I want you to find out. Unfortunately, the noblewoman who my grandfather worked for has long been dead, and she was the last in their bloodline, so I couldn't find any answers there. But the old fortress where they worked still stands.
Why is that stuff so expensive?
Isn't that obvious? Because I want to understand. You know, we Arzalines believe in the debt of blood. If my grandfather committed a crime, it is my responsibility to atone for it. Plus, I believe that if there was a way to, well, to cure that plague, it is hidden within that fortress. Whatever harm the mushrooms can do, they can also reverse it. My father never cared much about all this, but I'm different. If there's one thing I want to achieve in my life, then it's clarity. Look at me, you'll have the answer. I'm old and far from made for the road to begin with. Furthermore, all those undead who've been roaming the wilderness since that red madness began don't exactly make the idea more inviting. But don't worry, if you succeed, I'll make it worth your while. Reports, scrolls, samples of their work, anything that could be of relevance. Just look around. Do you have a map? Here, the fortress should be in this area. Best you take a Myra to Fogville.
Really need that new
In the village harbour, there was a hut where my grandfather lived when he was off duty. Chances are you'll find a key to the fortress there. Good luck, and thank you. If you have found the material, you can find me in the Undercity, near the old waterworks. My laboratory is there.
Move along.
I will. Take care.
Malphas's blessings.
Yeah, as if. Oh, you're not from around. Now you're quite the understands. How about a little
Just
bit of
think about
it, okay?
Mead, stew, roast pie.
Hello, handsome. As I said, the offer stands. Just think about it, okay? Is it important?
Take care.
I just don't see.
Huh?
Yes, of course it's.
Hey, you came. Come on, take a seat.
In my bed, sorry.
So, tell me, how are you holding up? It must have been quite the whirlwind. Yesterday, a refugee from another country, and now a prodigy with a magic great enough to impress old Bushybeard. Good luck with that. I'm quite curious to see how things keep on with you. You're different. I noticed that the time we met. Anyhow, tell me, what do you make of this country now that you've had some time to look around? I figure it must be quite the change from Narim.
These are hard times.
Shoot. Yeah, I can picture that. You know, this is exactly the reason why I love inns so much. The sky can rain fire out there. In here, you'll always meet laughter and good humor. Not to mention all the good-looking men and women. Absolutely. Though I think I've seen enough of this place by now. Of Enderal, I mean. There's a ship sailing for Calais next morning, and as it seems, it will be the last one for quite some time to come. Who knows? Maybe they still have a cabin to spare for a handsome treasure hunter. Oh well. This entire thing was more a coincidence than planned anyhow. The Order needed someone with skill and discretion. I was around. End of story. I never intended to stick around for much longer. Heck, me as an ambassador of the Holy Order, could you imagine that? Not one step further, O fair maiden. Drop your garments so we may both bathe in Malphas's holy light. Actually not that bad, don't you think? Oh, you're too kind. But you know, at the end of the day, I guess I'd probably lack both the pathos and the idealism for such a profession. You know, I'm aware of how these esteemed keepers up there talk about sellswords like me. I could save 30 virgins from a Myrodon rampage. At the end of the day, they'd always say I did it for the money, because I wanted to bed the women, or whatever. I'm driven by inferior motives, while no matter what their actions end in, they are good guys, because they do things for the right reasons. If only they'd understand that it's results that matter, not intentions. What does the wise hermit say? Nothing is of less importance to the saved than the reason for their rescue. The only difference between a mercenary like me and a holy warden is that I'm at least aware of the fact that I do what I do for myself, and no one else. I'm trying to say that all those heroes and self-declared messiahs are no better than everyone else. In the end, we are all selfish, because we always act in accordance to what we think we have to be like. So yes, maybe the keeper saves the farmer from the bandits. But at the end of the day, he does it because he sees himself in a certain light. You know, the funny thing is that a lot of times, it's especially those who think of themselves driven by a higher purpose who are the really dangerous ones. They don't understand what drives them, and that makes them easy to manipulate. The only thing left to do for the capable hate-monger or tyrant is to somehow combine his own ambitions with the mental image of this person. And presto, you've got your perfect puppet, only waiting to dive into the next hail of arrows for their honor, their religion, or whatever they thought of this time. It's just so idiotic, you know? The world would be a much better place if everyone could just acknowledge that the only reason we're here is that we want to be happy.
Times these are. Hard times.
Yeah, seek bliss and avoid pain, as the wise hermit likes to say. And believe me, once you realize that that's how people just work, life is a lot better. Oh, yeah, I do. And this goal is called surviving. And if possible, to be able to enjoy a good glass of wine or an exciting night from time to time. Oh, Blazes, you make it sound so dramatic. Doing something for your own sake doesn't make you selfish. But yeah, basically that's it. Really? I was half expecting you to throw insults at me. That's what people usually do when I tell them that. But I guess life is full of surprises. Anyway, I'll take my leave now. I very much enjoyed our talk, but the ship to Killet leaves before the first cocks crow tomorrow, and I want some more time to think about it. Well, it most recently gained a good-looking Aramese man. Maybe that'll make up for when I leave. Keep your chin up.